What are you up to?
Come here. Up to no good as usual. Up to no good. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, what? Go on. Yeah. Yeah. You okay? Right, well, no, it's not your turn today. We've just done a live broadcast, yeah. What? Yeah, will you be on the next live broadcast? All right, yes, right. Well, go make a cup of tea. Go on, and go on, it's fish and chips tonight. Yeah, all right then. And we'll watch Guardians, yeah. The cartoon, yeah, all right. Right then. It's gone. Hello, everybody, yeah. As you can hear, that's the theme music. Yeah, I mean, it's such a cool piece of music, isn't it? Right, so let's turn that off. Right, that's the VTV thing. I'm gonna do it's a retrospective on the series. As you can see, I've got the mini-series in another box, but this is the TV series. So, when did we start? 1984 or 83 it came out. Kenneth Johnson wrote it was going to be about a fascist state, but the TV networks wouldn't accept it. This was at the time of the big mini-series back in the early 80s, like the Thornbirds, World War III, Roots, all that type of stuff. I remember the mini-series and entire families, Studs Lonigan, that were another one. These big 4 or 5 part epics, North and South. Massive epics, and everybody would stay in, like, our entire families had watched these mini-series over so many nights. So big productions. And every TV network got one. But the one for me was V, and my God, I remember when I first started watching V on the first episode. But a bit of background: Kenneth Johnson created it, and the TV companies won't go for it about a right-wing state appearing, you know, in the 80s or at that time. So he altered it and he put in man-eating lizards. I suppose he looked into lizard conspiracy and all that, but it worked. And that time the Olympics were on, and V blasted the Olympics out of it just wiped the floor with the Olympics. I remember Olympics were on. I wasn't really into it, but at 9 o'clock every night, over 4 to 5 nights, V was on ITV. And I remember sat in the house, everybody was sat round and watched first episode, and it was about when they came to Earth and start, friendship is universal, and that's where it sort of started. But in America, the ad campaign, the marketing campaign was really clever, because in Los Angeles and New York, the TV company was putting, people that made it, they were putting up posters everywhere, friendship is universal, and people were getting hungers with these posters everywhere. I bet every one of them posters now is worth a bloody fortune. If anybody out there's got an original, let me know what they took off a wall somewhere. Well, V hit the screens, and it was about lizards looking like people, and it started off where they come to Earth and everything's wonderful, they're going to help us, and then over several nights, I think by the second episode, we find out what first episode we see eyes come out, he's in his room, Mike Donovan's there, and of course the lovely Jane Badler, who were just, the evil Diana, she were marvellous. And it came out that they were here to eaters, users for their wars, and basically ransack the planet under pretension of friendship. And everything's sort of hunky-dory at first, but this conspiracy against scientists, because scientists, obviously, there were certain scientists starting to figure out. There's Julie Parrish's mentor, she works with, he starts looking at the faces and stuff, and he's working out something's not right. Well, they kill him and other people disappear, and there's the Leibowitz family with the grandfather. He's seen all this before from the war, and he starts warning them. They've got a teenage son, Daniel, who's not really doing much of his life. He's got major issues with his family. His family can't cope with it. But when the visitors come and this conspiracy with scientists start there, and then suddenly they say there was we tried taking over one of their ships. They take over the planet. They've converted all the world leaders, house arrested the military globe. They basically took the planet within a matter of months. The Leibowitz family, Daniel joins the I suppose like the Nazi youth, the visitor youth, and that's it. And it all starts. And Mike Donovan gets the proof. He tries putting it on the air, gets stopped. And then born the Resistance, you know. And some major actors were in this. Michael Ironside, he comes into it, I think, like third episode. And it's about, well, when they start shooting them, well, they go rob some normal bullets don't affect the visitors. It's because of the scaly skin, I suppose, like an armour. In comes Willie, who's later Freddy Krueger. And Jane Badler, she's just marvellous, and Supreme Leader John. And it's about this whole invasion plot and what's going on, and the Resistance start hitting back at them, and the visitors are I mean, they're a nasty bunch of people, well, lizards, you know, and I loved it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, every night of the week we're all like just round the chair wanting to watch it. And then we got to the third episode with Blair Tefkin, the daughter. She has an affair with one of them, but he's been used as an experiment to see what had happened between human and lizard. And it just finishes right on third episode when she's giving birth. A normal, like, this lizard baby comes out, and it's like she's screaming. I mean, I would end at chair. This lizard baby, and we were all like, I think everybody were just stunned. And then this normal human looking baby come out, but then this lizard son come out and she screams, and that's it till episode 4. And then we go more into the next episode about the Star Child, this little girl that starts growing really quick. Mother can't handle it. The Resistance starts pushing back. They find something in their DNA of the Star Child, of the dead baby, the dead lizard kid. That there's this like element that can kill them, and they start creating red powder. Now I suppose a lot of us at the time, we all thought it was going to be like a full-on war with jets going to like attack at motherships. Obviously they couldn't afford that at the time. I mean, this thing cost $13 million, and that's a lot of money, because you can tell in the quality of this program, and they create this powder, red dust, and then they release it in blue, keep it so simply beautiful. But on the visitors, all these like Stephen, who's in charge of this, there's Mike Donovan's mother. I mean, the whole thing of V is very character driven, with the human victims, and Elias, who's in the gangs, and his brother, who's a doctor that changes him when he gets killed by the visitors. Willie, the fifth column, Frank Ashmore as Martin. I mean, this is some major stuff, and it's really driven. And what's interesting is Daniel, who joins the Visitors Youth, he turns evil, but he gets his comeuppance, and he kills one of the Resistance, a lovely old lady that lived on his street, when they plant the bombs at this visitor thing conference. And there's the part where they rip off John's face, and you see all his like lizard skin. And it's just brilliant. I mean, there's a lot of action, a lot of high drama, and a lot of people interaction, and it's great. And then we get into the final battle, the final 2 like mini movies, where we drive them off planet, and Diana's just gonna blow up the planet. I mean, she's just completely, truly evil. And she kills Supreme Commander John, and they blow it all up. But the little girl, they saved the mothership, and they turn its reactors off from planet. Even Ed Lizard John wouldn't do it. He said, you can't do this, you know, because how can you be ruler of a poisoned planet? To release the dust everywhere. And that's it. And everybody for about a year or so went on about the lizard babies being born. I remember that is what is so memorable about V. So about a year, I think we didn't get it. There were rumours in Starburst magazine of a TV series, and they got it out pretty quick. But they got in America at that time. America got a lot of things about a year ahead of us, and I don't think we got it till about '85, the TV series, and we got it on ITV with 18 episodes. And it's set 2 years on or a year on from V Liberation Day. And Diana's going to stand for her crimes against humanity. And it just starts with that, and she gets out, what is it, character Michael Ironside, Ham Tyler, he kidnaps her for Nathan Bates at Science Frontiers to use her knowledge so he can make billions of dollars, you know. And that's where it sort of starts. And Donovan, you know, tries to stop her from escaping, you know, and his partner Martin dies. That's his part of the column from miniseries. And it goes from there, and every episode's different with the theme going in. I mean, there's a couple of interesting little Easter eggs where this could have all gone. But you see, they rushed the TV series. They rushed it pretty quick. And which I've got here. It's not as good as the miniseries. I mean, there is some standout episodes like the Wildcats, and there's a couple of other episodes. I mean, I'd say the first 2 episodes of V, the TV series, start off really well with Elizabeth the Star Child. But as it goes along, it does get more campier. It does get quite camp. From where that the miniseries was to being this excellent piece of writing and brilliant set what they had and everything about it. The TV series, I mean, there's a lot of cut scenes from miniseries added into TV, and you know, yeah, I knew back then. It's alright, but then came June Chadwick as Lydia, and we loved Lydia. Her and Diana just worked so well. They hated each other, like the cat fight all the time, and you didn't know who you fancied. It was, did you fancy Diana or Lydia? I think Lydia was the nicer one out of the two. Diana was just wanted power, and Lydia were more loyal to the leader, but you know, they just hated each other. And then they brought Charles the Great Hero from Duncan Reggae, is a good actor. He was in Next Generation a few times. He played Dr. Crusher's lover. He was like possessed of Granny's body or something. Do you remember that episode? He's a good actor. I thought he was English, but he's not, he's from Canada. And Andy was an ice skater. He turns up with his chest open, and he's like Charles, and they're both fighting over him, and he decides to marry Diana, but they poison him. Diana and Lydia stand trial for it, have a big fight. I think Lydia wins the fight. Charles, and it ends up being the perfume lizard, the one that does all the perfume on the mothership. I didn't even know they had a perfume shop on mothership. And she gets sent off. You do come across some interesting characters. Like in one episode, there's like Klaus, who's setting up the Visitor Youth, and he's got Donovan's son, he's brainwashed him. I mean, there's episodes like that are quite good. And then we get like through this journey of Donovan. You say Mike Donovan, I think he's that. I mean, Mark Singer played him beautifully. He truly is a hero, isn't he? But he just, I mean, there is episodes where they just pop up to mothership whenever they want, and you know, I mean, they just literally pop up there, slaughter a load of them, then pop back down. And then Diana's got some new death weapon every week, like the force field, and they have to stop it, and it's going on every week. Now, what were good about some of the episodes? They had a news broadcast from the Freedom Network, and that started for about 5 or 6 episodes, which made it really good. It wasn't a final episode where they went on about other battles all over the world, which was sort of interesting, and I got into that. I mean, I'm not knocking the TV series. They rushed it. They should have left it a year, worked it out, because it did have potential, and they cut the budget to it, you know. And that was a shame. And they got rid of a load at cast. Michael Ironside left, Blair Tefkin left, Star Child's mother. Elias got vaporised. There were a lot like that, and they sort of shot on the cast down to just a few of them, where it ended up. I did like Nathan Bates, his son Cal. He was a cool character, and I liked Nathan Bates. I forgot the actor's name. He was in Lewis and Clark. I forgot his name now, but he played this scrupulous businessman that turns Los Angeles into a freedom city, like the protected city, where both sides can live in peace, but he controlled it. So he had his power, because he threatened all lizards that he'd blow them out of the sky with red dust, because he had this like pulsometer on his arm. And that were good. He got killed sort of later on in series, then Mr. Chang took over his henchman and he got killed. And I mean, it's got faults as the television, so it truly has, but there is some standalone episodes in this, so it is worth it. Now, you do get to the final episode, The Return, where the leader turns up, and he's a bit more than them. I think he has like sort of powers, and he's sort of connected to Starchild, and she boards the ship with the head lizard, the leader, you know, because they all keep going on about the lead, like you know, he's everything to him. And Kyle jumps in there, and they go off into space, but Diana's planted a bomb. She's going to get done for treason. But the old war stopped. So I think the visitors have wasted a lot of resources on trying to conquer this planet. And the human race just will not back down. You know, they don't want them there. So this war it stops, and we're left with sort of a cliffhanger at the end, where both races are connected now through, you know, the Star Child, because she has this destiny. It's in the universe. Now, there is some interesting stuff, like with the lizards. They've got there's a peaceful faction, Zom Pretenama, and you do get to see this priest being they create the fifth column. You see a hologram of him that is coming to Earth to undo everything the leader. It's like their resistance on their own planet, because of the leaders running like a fascist state. And that were interesting, but we only saw that once. They never really played on to that. And there were a few episodes where, like, they send a spy into Resistance who falls in love with Starchild's mum, and that goes on for like 2-3 episodes. So there was sort of a continuation in this series, but it did lose its way on a lot of things. But all in all, it finished in a half-hearted, satisfactory sort of way. It's a shame that I think if they'd have delayed it by another year, put the money in, got Kenneth Johnson, and got me better at, because Kenneth Johnson, he walks off it because it won't go in the way it were going. So it's a bit of a sad ending. It's a step down from the quality that came with the miniseries, and that were it really. So after that, we got 20 years later, a couple of years ago, about 2007, Kenneth Johnson wrote a book called V, The Next Generation, which I read, and I wasn't particularly impressed with it. It's on Wikipedia if you want to know what it's about. I really don't want to. It was alright, but it wasn't where I thought this had all gone. And I don't really want to put that. For me, it's not canon. And then a few years ago, we got the new series, which did have potential, but it started going a bit into the mind and the soul. They were here looking for the soul and all that, and I just thought, please don't go down this path. Why can't you just keep it like the H1? You're here, you're going to wait us, we're going to fight you, and that's it. And you've got this big agenda going on as well, but it were all a bit, it was a bit fudgety, but it was not a bad set. The acting cast, Marina Baccarin and all the other cast members, was superb. I mean, Jane Basler came back, and it was good. And so there was a lot going on, but so they were on this mission looking for something in the human race to find for themselves. And season 1, season 2, it did have potential. By the final episode of season 2, apparently she's trying to get everybody in mental communion with everybody, and they have this Starlight, an equivalent to Starchild again, where Diana unifies everybody through like this big mind control, this union. But meanwhile, in the bunker on Earth, Mark Singer pops up, and they've been ready for visitors for the last how many years. They're armed to teeth, and they're ready to go at them, you know. So they've been planning and waiting to attack them because they knew they were coming. So like, you go into the visitors thing about how they've been here for a few years in society, but the government, there's an agency of the government knows about all this, and they're ready to strike. So that's sort of interesting. Now back to the TV series and the miniseries and the book. In the original book, you remember in the miniseries they send a message to the leader's enemy. Well, in the book, the leader's enemy turns up, and they're called the VD or something. And I think they're more powerful than the visitors. Well, they turn up because they received the message and they come to Earth. And other friends or allies, read the book, read Wikipedia. It's interesting. I was very fascinated by them, and I think that's where the TV series could have gone, where the other aliens turn up, you know, who they lost the war against, the visitors, because this other race kicked their ass big time. So it would have been interesting to see where this would have gone. So guys, that's my review and retrospective on V. You know, so I do recommend it. It's worth checking out. The TV set, the miniseries, TV series. Even give the new series a chance, because it's not that bad. There is a few fudges in there, but it's not that bad. And give the book V, The Next Generation. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I did like the concepts of the other aliens. So there's a whole universe. Now I know Kenneth Johnson, they're actually bringing the 80s version back to the cinema. They're going to put in that type of style. They'll probably make it more to it than the original, but Desilu's now, they're getting it together, and I think V is worth going to the cinema. I think V has so much potential. So that's my review for V, all of it from what I know. There were comics and memorabilia. We didn't get a lot of it in the UK. Few toys turned up, and we did have a slight comic series, but I think it lasted about 9 issues. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And we got a few good stars out. We got Mark Singer as Beastmaster. We got Michael, you know, Michael Ironside became a major star. Jane Badler's a cult figure. So is June Chadwick, and others. Everybody sort of went somewhere. And this has been a long review, but I'm so excited because I've just finished watching the whole sort of thing over the last few days when I got back. So guys, please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing live broadcasts weekly, I'm hoping, if I get the time. It'd be good. So let me know what you think, guys. Yeah, that's it. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video. Please subscribe, and I will leave the links in for the V stuff.